want to welcome everybody to this week's Sport Fishing on the Fly Saturday show. This week I compiled some footage that we did up in Dragon Lake back in 2021. It was a good day, but it was a random day. We were expecting all those big fish on different patterns, goldfish patterns. We were hoping for a big mayfly hatch. Of course, that's never the case. You're not going to go out and ever get the hatches you expect to get. What we did get is Dale went back, the Bulldog actually went back to the Bulldog Fly. He put on Don's Personal Bulldog, which imitates, any kind of bait fish. Really got on dragon because of the goldfish. And he caught some beautiful fish. Of course, I had to resort to the Blob. We do a throat sample, lots of Daphnia. So you just never know when you go out. So it's a little bit of a random show. But again, the Bulldog focused on the Bulldog Fly. I do some stuff on some Blobs. And we get some beautiful fish. But if you want to see more of this, you can actually become a member on Sport Fishing on the Fly at sportfishingonthefly.ca, or sfotf.ca. All our content is up there for all our members, and you can watch it commercial free, which makes it really nice. But today we're actually going to air this show in its entirety. I'm not going to edit out much, and I'll probably throw in a bench segment. I'm not sure which bench I'm going to throw in yet, but you'll see when I throw it in there. So also subscribe to our channel. Got the little subscribe button always going down the bottom there. Subscribe. Go out to the numbers and you get a notification. So it's the Bulldog and I fishing Dragon Lake. And that's today as we take you sport fishing on the fly. Sport Fishing on the Fly is brought to you by Maui Jim Sunglasses, First Tellurium Corp., the future of mining, and Hardy Rods and Reels.
Yeah, great to be back out on Dragon Lake. Came over here, I fished here on the long weekend, and this is a little mayfly up on the shoals here. So anyway, I thought we'd try the Bulldog Fly. Haven't used that in a while, and that big boy hit right away. Boy, he just ripped me way in the back and went for a big jump. He's gonna be a nice fish.
Don's Personal Bulldog.
If I can keep him on, yeah, because it has the bright,
Yeah.
has the bright colors in there.
Yeah, he went on a scream and run.
Yeah, 50 yards and
Oh, jeez. He's not happy.
no. I hope I can hold on to him. You don't. The one time you don't like to see the big spectacular jump when you're trying to land. Have a look at that first fish. Oh yeah.
He looks big. It's too bad we have the sun reflection, but yeah. Big guy eating goldfish.
See what I can do here.
Yep, he's a beauty. Nice one to start. Oh, nice. Good one to start.
Nice fish, eh?
Yeah, nice. Oh yeah, looks like, yeah,
Nice
between 3 and 4 there. Nice fish.
Yeah, and the Don's
Beautiful.
Personal Bulldog.
Yeah, the Bulldog.
Well, I
All
figured
right.
it would be good when we met some people that showed us some flies they've been using.
Wow, you know, the Bulldog's always been good for bait fish, especially goldfish. That's where it shines in dragon.
Yeah,
You know, it's funny though, it's got to be the Don's Personal with the orange in it, right? A little darker, that burnt orange, rather than just the Lake Bulldog, which is,
you like the,
yeah.
all the flashing.
Oh, yeah. Yep, it's got all the right colors right there. Yeah,
big
perfect.
fish.
Big fish fly. Oh, yeah, gorgeous fish. Gorgeous colors. There he goes. Beautiful.
Gone.
Nice.
All right, that's pretty quick.
Yeah. Yeah, the Bulldog, always a good pattern in here.
Always a good pattern, because they eat goldfish here.
That's it.
So, Bulldog, always good. And
Well,
sparkly like that,
Good start.
little glint, that's good.
Yeah, got the nice little flat here. We'll see if we can get some on the strip and then maybe hanging when the mayflies come off. Now, one great pattern to use when you don't have hatches or blobs. You know, we had one. Dale got a couple early on the Bulldog. Of course, they love to eat the goldfish in here. And then we took a throat sample full of Daphnia. And you know, when we had an underwater camera down last year, we saw tons of these really bright orange and yellow Daphnia blobs just floating by. And you know, when you throat sample a fish and they're full of Daphnia, a great thing to hang. Ooh, this guy came up. Great thing to hang as a blob. So I've got a Tequila Explosion, one of our new blobs. Works great when they're feeding on Daphnia. We've had luck on big fish lakes, especially big fish lakes like Stump, Dragon here. I don't know why they love it, but they just fill up on Daphnia and they love it. So this one's not bad. I thought he was kind of small at first, but he's a decent size. And they pull like freight trains in here.
Well, they're hot, eh?
Oh,
Those
they're
fish were hot.
So hot. And you know, I just lost one on the Blob, and there's no mayflies, there's no hatch yet. So again, when they're full of Daphnia, there's no hatches, you got to go with the blobage. Well, he spit it. That's the only problem. You know, those barbless hooks. I tie him on a real good barbless, and it's out. But there he is there. Sure, but just a nice, you know, I don't know, 16, 17-inch fish. There he goes. What a good start. And I'll show everybody the little blob we use. So we've had a couple, you know, we like the watermelon tequila blob, but this is kind of Tequila Explosion. It's a combination. It's got the little pink tail, because you get pink, but really the Daphnia you get are that green, bright green and orange. And I always like a bead on there. Something to shine, something to bring them in. And then once they see it, they eat it. So a little Tequila Explosion. You know what, maybe that'll be a good candidate for the bench later if we start pounding them on the blob.
Oh, that's another nice fish.
Oh, on the Bulldog. So you're
Spectacular
sticking with
job.
the bully, and I've got
Yeah.
the blob.
Stripping the bully on a type 3, 10 feet of water.
Yeah,
A
but you
nice-
know that Bulldog shines
nice
when
thing
they're
they
on
spat.
goldfish.
They smash it.
Ah,
net.
the net.
Yeah, he's got to be pooed out. He went
Oh,
for
yeah,
the,
he went for a couple of
he did
big
the
aerials.
big jump. Yeah.
Just nice size to start. Nothing
Yeah.
big yet, but
Nice and chunky.
we know there's some big boys, but we just got out here, so it's early.
Yeah, it's amazing. A fish that size and the fight that they give you is pretty darn good.
Yeah, he pulled pretty hard.
Okay. There he is there.
Yeah, the classic Bulldog. That's Don's Personal, eh? What you got?
Yeah, Don's Personal.
Yeah.
But look at how, I'll throw him out here. Look at how chunky they are. Look at that.
Yeah, yeah,
He's got
They
the
are
super.
fat.
They're only, you know,
yeah,
for their length, and they just,
yeah.
they're bulking up because they eat the goldfish.
Yeah, that's it. Well, I'm going to keep throwing the Blob, and
Uh-huh.
you're throwing the Bulldog.
Yeah.
Good combination. Good searching patterns. Throw on the bully.
Yeah. Boy.
Oh,
They're jumpers, eh?
yeah.
He's went on some spectacular.
It's funny, you know, they're not big fish, but they're sure
Oh,
powerful.
they're hot.
They are hot.
Yeah,
Really
anything
hot.
that 2 or 3 pound range
Yeah.
is just,
Crazy.
it's just big. Big air,
You
too.
know, it's great. We're waiting for the mayfly hatch. We're hoping for it. But, you know, the Bulldog is a great filler, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Stripping the
between.
Bulldog, and, you know, in a type 3, like we're in shallow 10 feet of water,
Yeah.
so it's not even a really heavy full sink line. Like,
No, type 3, and what I
and
found
I'm stripping
too,
right away, so I think they're only down maybe 5 feet
Yeah.
off of this.
and what I found, it's great in big fish lakes. Right, you got a small
yeah.
fish lake, you don't pull it out. Big fish lakes, especially with bait fish, yeah, the Bulldog is tough to beat.
Yeah, I find they're good when it's either bait fish or you got dragonflies. They're good where
Big
there's
dragons,
lots of
yeah.
dragons too. There he is here.
Oh, he look pretty good.
Oh yeah, he's nice.
Oh yeah, nice size again. But that's crazy. That's, you know,
Good chunky.
2-pound fish and just that powerful. Like shocking.
Yeah. They're just, well, look at the shape they're in.
Yeah, right.
Like when you see this guy, the prime, they don't have to be very long.
Oh, beautiful.
Look at the condition.
Yeah, I know. They're just gorgeous.
Just
yeah.
prime. They ain't perfect condition.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's always a good filler. Little
Yeah.
Bulldog.
A bulldog.
Oh, yeah.
Let
You know,
him go.
these are just the little guys to start. You know, there's big fish in here.
Yeah, I don't even know if I can. I'll try to lift him, but get ready because he's gonna.
Oh, yeah. Let him go. Yeah. This is a
Look
nice
at that.
fish. Oh, yeah, beautiful. Boom. And
It's early on. We're waiting for the mayfly hatch.
it's what you have to do. You're throwing that Bulldog, which is a dragon imitation. This is a nice fish. And I'm throwing out the Daphnia because when they're on Daphnia and Daphnia Blobs, they're full of it. Like that's all you get, and they were just full of it. So you got a choice. You match the hatch or you don't. And before a hatch is coming on, you better go with it. So they're eating this guy.
I saw
That's
a couple
nice.
of mayflies. Better do a pumper, maybe a pump sample.
Oh yeah, let's
We'll
do
have to
another one.
pump
So
now and see
we
what
should have got the picture of the one earlier that was full of Daphnia because we had the big head shake. It was like, ooh. But you know, if they are looking, at least they're in here looking for food, and when they're looking, they will take things like this. So that's good. Let me get the net from you.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and then let's get a throat sample and see if that's changed. See if we're gonna hatch finally. Because we do expect some mayflies for sure this time of year to come off in early June. That's a nice fish. There it is there. Oh, there's a little explosion just popped out. There he is there. Yeah, nice smaller fish, but hot fight. There he goes. And now, let's see. The first one we had was all Daphnia. And now, it's about a half an hour later. And we'll see what we got.
I saw a couple of
Oh,
mayflies.
geez, look at that.
What is it?
We got tiny, bunch of Daphnia, still lots of Daphnia, but we got some small little Chiabras pupa and a couple of mayflies. So, but they're light green Chiabras, so that's small, but they're size 20, but with the Daphnia, there's a bunch of Daphnia in there, and two mayflies that are pretty fresh, so they could be starting. So I'm gonna keep trying the Blob, and if I don't get hits, I'm gonna go to the mayfly, because they're just starting.
Now that, oh, boy, they're strong, eh?
They are.
And I
yeah.
tagged him in like 3 feet of water.
Yeah, because
Up
in
on
there,
the shoal.
there's a big
I
shoal.
tried to throw one up there because
Yeah.
there's an odd mayfly popping now.
It goes really shallow in there, doesn't it? Like 2
Oh, yeah.
3 feet.
3 feet.
And we're right off the ledge. And it's always a good play, anchor in the deep water and cast in.
Yeah, I
Or
was
you can cast
expecting
out.
we'd cast out into the deep. When I was
Yeah.
here in May, it was like going off. Oh, man, are they ever strong.
There are hot fish.
You know, for those fish, you could catch 18-inch fish like this all day. It's like,
Wait till we get into a few big ones.
yeah.
They go
Well, yeah,
nuts.
and you always do. You got to catch. I got
Yeah.
a 29-inch one here.
Yeah, crazy.
In May, like you can get a monster. But in the interim,
Hey,
it sure is fun
to start,
catching them this
is
size.
fun.
Look at that. Oh, it's just no wonder they're so strong though, because
Yeah.
they just got such a. Oh, they're chunky, to say the least.
Yeah, they are. Just hot fish.
Oh, there it goes.
Gee. There
There it goes.
The long line release.
Pulled them out.
We continue on our adventure. We moved down our spot. Really bizarre. We were fishing the Bulldog and the Blob, the Daphnia. getting a few fish, and then it just shut down. And we pumped the last fish Dale had. Oh, this is a nice one. And we got actually a couple of mayflies. Well, I put on a mayfly. We both did. Hung them, stripped them, everything. Couldn't get a fish. We got a few bites, but nothing. Just the hatch had stopped completely. So we moved down into some weeds. Hopefully we're waiting for the hatch to come off again. Dale's fired on, kept on the Bulldog. I fired on the Blob here, and right away we're into them. So there's no hatch yet. They're just not moving on the mayflies. So we tried it, nothing yet. We're hoping, we had heard in the afternoon, the mayflies may come off and we actually may get them dry. Oh, gee. Which would be kind of cool. So we'll see. But right now, you know what? When they're feeding on Daphnia and Chiabris, especially small Chiabris pupa, you might as well use a Blob. And you're imitating the goldfish, right? You got the Bulldog on.
Yep. Yeah, that's what they eat in here.
That's what they're on.
Yeah.
So you know, it's always be ready. You know, again, most people know once when they're on Daphnia and small Chiabris and eating lots of them, Blobs are effective. So definitely hang them. I've got tequila Blob on now. I went from my tequila explosion Blob to the tequila Blob, and it's a nice bow like we've been getting all day. You know, that kind of 18 to 20 inches, yeah. Decent fish,
healthy,
fat, yeah.
Big fight out of it.
Real nice, yeah. They're gorgeous fish. Gee. Yes, he's a nice fish.
Beauty, yeah.
Yeah, this one may be a little bit bigger than our average, but still, look at that. Nice. Look where he took it. Oh man, he's a healthy guy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a little bit bigger. Yeah, it's over 20 inches. Look at that, and the Blob just come right out.
Yeah, that's over 20.
They just shake him. Yeah, this guy's a nice healthy fish. Let's see, the net is 23, and this guy he's probably pushing 22-ish. There he is there. Look at how fat and healthy they are, though. You know, chrome bullets. Oh, gee. God. He kicked me in the face. No, but that's it, you know. It's one thing we got to reiterate is when there's no hatch, you know, you got to go after the patterns they're used to. They're used to eating sculpin, of course, goldfish, and Daphnia. Daphnia and tons. I showed you about tons and tons of little Chiabris pupa, and they're just clear and wiggling. And oh well, keep throwing the Blob. It's called Don's Personal Bulldog. This is the one that me and Dale actually use on the show. So make sure you have these materials ready before you tie the fly. We'll tie the fly on a size 6 4x long streamer hook. You tie with some 6/0 black thread, some 0.02 to 0.03 lead wire for the weight. For the tail, we'll use some burnt orange marabou, some heavy copper wire for the ribbing, some medium gold chenille for the body, and for the hackles, a burnt orange and olive grizzly hackle. Start the fly off, we're going to take our 0.02 lead wire, and I'm just going to wrap up the hook. And I like to double it over. If you're using the heavier wire like the 0.03, I only give it one wrap. But I'm going to go right to about 1/2 inch from the eyelet and then work it over again a second time, kind of double it up, and only go halfway on the hook. So I'll let you see here in a minute. I'll just undo. There we go. Finish that. So you can, as you can see, I've only wrapped the front half of the hook. Don't wrap any more than that. You want this fly to undulate, so only half, front half. Now that we have our lead tied in, we're just going to put on our thread. And again, just form a couple of small dams on the front and the back of that lead, just so it doesn't slide on the hook. So I just wrap up a little ball at the back of the lead wire, wrap it a little bit at the front. And then finish off with the back of my hook. We're going to put on our marabou tail. Take one of your burnt orange marabou feathers. Now I like to use all this material from the bottom of the feather, so strip off a bunch at the bottom, and I'll do the same to the other side. I like to use the whole feather. Make sure you've got all the fibers pulled out. Strip that off, kind of match them up for length. They don't have to be exact, just similar in length. You want a little bit of length variation. Take that big clump that you have, make sure it's about the length of the hook. It's alright if it's a little past, but about the length of the hook, and then tie it in for the tail. Now, after I've taken a few wraps on the tail, I like to take my scissors, cut off all this bulk excess that's on top there, wrap this over with the thread, and always remember to go back to the tail and go behind the tail. Pull your the thread up, go in front again of your tail, go behind it once more, pull it up nice and tight, and wrap in front of the tail again. That's going to allow that tail to always sit upright. It won't get pulled down over the hook, so make sure you do that. Now take some heavy copper wire, and we'll tie it in at the back of the hook. And this will be used to riv the fly up a little bit later. And make sure you tie it in good at the back there. You can build up a bit of a base layer of thread. One of the most important parts of this fly is selecting the proper hackles. Now, here's the big key. Is the burnt orange grizzly hackle that I selected. You'll notice the fibers are not as long as the green one. The grizzly one that's green is going to go in front of this hackle, and it's a lot bigger. It's actually going to overshadow my burnt orange grizzly, but you'll see the burnt orange through the green. This is very important. So what I'm going to do is put them together and tie them on to the hook and tie them in by the tips. Very important to tie these in by the tips. So tie them in by the tips and just wrap it back, your thread back to the back of the hook. And keep those back for a little later for ribbing, and just cut off your excess. Take some of your olive chenille, tie it in the back of the hook. And now, when you wrap this fly forward, the way I personally like it is keeping the back end nice and thin. Only do one wrap on the back end and just keep wrapping it forward. Keep that body thin at the back. And as you get up to the lead, now I'm going to start tightening up. Now I'm going to actually maybe double overlap as I get to the head. So I want a tapered body. I'm actually building the front end up a little more than the back end. And then we'll finish, and leave yourself minimum a 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch of room at your eyelet, because we're going to wrap those hackles up there. And cut off your excess. Now what we're going to do is take our 2 hackles, and I'm going to flare them out a little bit. And I always want the green in front of the orange, so I'm going to start wrapping forward. Now making sure that green stays in front of the forward, whatever it takes to keep the green in front. And then as I'm going, I'm pulling them back and I'm wrapping them together. Remember, I'm wrapping these 2 up together. That green's always going to be a little bit bigger than that orange. Then when I get to the head, I want to take 2 or 3 wraps and really flare that head out. And then wrap it over with my thread. Cut off your excess from your hackles. Now what we're going to do is take all this extra material, it looks like a real mess at the front of the hook, and we're just going to wrap it over with the thread right at the head and pull it over. And that'll actually give you a really nice flared collar. Now to make sure that hackle stays intact, I'm going to go the reverse direction with my copper ribbing and bring it through and just slowly pull it up. And what that's going to do is wrap over your hackles and keep them solid on your hook. So if you happen to blow a hackle out of there, this rib is going to keep it intact. And only go to the collar. So what I'm going to do is go right up to where I formed the collar, bring my thread back, and tie off my copper ribbing behind the flared head. Cut off your excess. Now what you want to do is pull your thread forward again and wrap all that, form a nice black head on the fly and wrap in all that hackle so you have a real nice flared head on the fly. So to finish the fly off, we're going to take our whip finisher and do a few whip finishes at the head end. I like to do about 3 or 4, and always I like to do it over a couple times just to make sure that knot forms up real good. Cut off our excess and take a little bit of head cement. And again, personally, I like to head cement my flies. On the show a lot of times I won't head cement because we don't have the time, but on here really give it a good coating. Let that soak into that head. Let all that material or that cement get into the fly. And there it is. Now that is the finished Personal Bulldog. That's the one I use on the lakes. That's the fly I use out on the river all the time. In the old Bulldog, all we did is we had a variety of different greens. We would tie it with a light green and a darker green, a grizzly green with, say, a real light green. It was a good combination, but I found putting that burnt orange with the tail, as we do in the original pattern, along with burnt orange in the body, it just sets this fly apart.
So you changed over, Bully.
Yeah, went to the Blob.
Well, they went off the Bulldog,
Yeah.
didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
And again, the last one we sampled
Another
was
nice fish, though.
had nothing else in it. Just older. The last one we got was Daphnia, all fresh Daphnia, but older shrimp. So yeah, just a couple.
Yeah.
They're not. There's
Oh,
no
no.
hatch yet. Let's see this guy.
Yeah, he's one of those chunky,
Is he? Chunky little
18-inch
guys?
maybe.
Oh yeah, those are gorgeous fish though.
Lots
Oh, there he is. Oh yeah.
of
Yeah,
pizzazz.
there he is there. Right in the
Yeah,
tip.
in
That's the
tip.
beauty of the blobs too. They take them right just like a
Yeah,
chironomid.
it's right there, right?
Yeah, right there. Yeah, nice
Right.
fish.
There he is.
Nice.
Another one on the Blob.
There he goes. Oh, that was awesome.
In the shallows.
Oh, well, we've been looking around. You know, we're looking for a hatch. We're trying to find anything and just can't find them. We just can't find a hatch. But when I saw a little calm out, we were out in about 12 feet. And then I kept saying, I think I see some fish boiling in there. So we came in, shortened up to like 3 feet. We're in 3 feet of water. You cast out the bully, and you had a couple of hits right away. And then
Yeah,
this
had
guy,
a couple of good pulls.
Yeah,
right
and
away.
then
They're
this-
in here.
this guy ate the blob right away. Like he ate it. So that's good. I'll just unbutton them. I'll just unhook them. But you know, I saw bigger fish in here. Like I saw bigger boils. So hopefully they'll come on.
Again, when they're spunky like this, I mean, it's like if you catch lots of fish this size, it's
There
a
he
lot
goes.
of fun.
Yeah, there he goes.
Especially with all the jumping around and stuff they do.
No kidding.
Well,
That's
no
crazy.
hatch again though, but they're in here looking.
Hey, you know what? If they're gonna eat a blob in 3 feet of water, I'm all over it.
Okay.
And then we'll get a throat sample after too. The shallow water.
There's a jumper. Oh, still going. It's because he's in like 3 or 4 feet there.
Yeah.
Go psycho.
Yeah, well, we just slid out of that 3 feet. We're in 3 feet, and now we went anchor deep.
I said, let's throw it to the shallow.
Yeah. And then you say, well, let's throw it back in shallow. So you did, and you picked this guy.
Well,
Oh,
I guess-
crazy day.
Yeah, it's a crazy, and a lot of fish, no of the big lunkers. You know, the biggest we caught is what, 22 inches?
Yeah, yeah. So far.
But lots of fish this size that just go crazy.
Yeah, this guy's, oh, he's nice, but yeah, he had 4 or 5 screaming
Spectacular
jumps.
Yeah. Hey, look at how
Yeah, a
fat
little
they are.
blob right there.
Little blob in the corner.
Ah, those big fish lakes, they just love that. They love feeding on everything, all that Daphnia. When there's no hatch, man, they
I
key
can't
on
get
that.
over the health of the fish.
Yeah,
That's
look at that. Yeah, he's just so nice, eh? Nice and
Yeah.
fat and thick. Look at the
They
cool
catch 'em all.
colors. Yeah,
The
wow.
way they jump
Love
around.
it. Yeah, very cool. All right, well, let him go.
Take 'em out of here.
See if we can fool another one in there.
There you go, buddy.
Okay.
There you
Yeah, beautiful colors.
Back to the. Yeah. Look at just a little football.
Yeah. There he goes.
Little football. But you know, you have so much fun catching them that size. Like they just go psycho,
Yeah.
leaping around in shallow water like that. I catch those all day, and then you still got the chance for the big toad. You just need to get him yet.
Well, another day on Dragon.
Yeah, just starting our caribou swing again this year, but you know, it's 2021 when we're shooting this.
Yeah.
Weather's been horrific for 2 weeks.
Has it ever?
Thunderstorm after thunderstorm, wind.
Getting
I
beat
think
up. I'm sick and tired of wind. One thing I dislike when I'm fly fishing is wind, and we've had a lot of it. But you know what? Just always think. You know, we went back to the Bulldog today because
Yeah,
of the
Bulldog,
goldfish,
yeah.
right? Bulldog's a great pattern. Went to the Blobs because of the Daphnia, right? It's being aware of what's going on, and you know, a lot of times it's not about the hatch because you won't see a hatch.
Yeah,
You
no
have to know
hatch
what
today.
might be going on. So don't forget, you know, blobs are always good. The old bulldogs are good. Attractor patterns are good. Streamers are good. You never know.
You never know. Well,
Yeah.
that's what we used today, and it saved the day. We actually didn't have a bad day. Not really any really big fish,
Yeah.
but still some nice fish.
Not
Lots
always
of
gonna
nice
get
fish.
big
That's
fish.
right.
And we got to thank Ted and Linda McDonald. You know what? Awesome people. We get to stay at Teddywood on a beautiful lake. We are spoiled, isn't it?
We're spoiled, yeah.
But when you come out here, take care, conserve our waters, and we'll see you next time we take you sport fishing on the fly.
Off to the next lake.
Next lake.